Texas versus Georgia was arguably the most anticipated matchup of the day. UT players were adamant this week about this game not being about revenge from last year. But let's keep it a buck. They haven't beat the Dogs since joining the conference, so going to Athens and coming out with a dub will be a statement win for Sark and his squad. Boys were barking in Sanford Stadium as Peyton Manning was watching his nephew Arch warm up. The Longhorns have never played in this environment, and it took time for both sides of the ball to get comfortable. UGA's first drive ended with a touchdown thanks to Houston native Noah Thomas. He was left wide open in the end zone. Shout out to Parentland, by the way. Dogs were up 14-3 at halftime, but after intermission, the Horns found life thanks to this interception by Anthony Hill Jr., a spark UT needed because at that point, nothing was working for the Horns. That led to UT's first and only touchdown of the night, courtesy of Ryan Wingo after a strike from Arch. But that was the closest Texas would get. Dogs scored 21 unanswered after that, and that's all she wrote. Horns lose in Athens 35-10. Now their playoff hopes are in jeopardy. And with that being said, I'm going to be joined by Jeff Jones now, who's live in Athens. He saw this game with his own two eyes. Jeff, I got to ask you, you have that Ryan Wingo touchdown, makes it a 4-point game, but then Georgia goes off and scores 21 unanswered, including a surprise onside kick. What did you think about Georgia's second half?
Georgia's second half was good. Their fourth quarter was outstanding. As you see in your highlight there, 21-0, Georgia to Texas in the fourth quarter alone. The stadium that I'm standing in right now got super loud in the fourth. And the sideline over there where the Longhorns were standing, it got extremely quiet in the game's final period. That's one of the quarters that we have to ask Coach Sark about in the post-game presser. We also have to ask him about the running game that never got on track. UT stole a lot of momentum back in the third quarter, and we thought that there was a chance that they could complete the comeback. We've seen these guys come back before in games this season. We thought that could happen in the fourth, but that surprise onside kick that you mentioned really solidified things for Georgia. That was a coaching move where it was very clear that Texas got out-coached in that moment. The broadcast cameras went immediately to Sark and then immediately to the special teams coordinator, Jeff Banks, and you could see that look of frustration and disappointment probably in themselves on their faces. Corey, a moment ago, you mentioned Texas's playoff hopes, which are now slim, but they are not invisible and not extinguished just yet. The All-State playoff predictor gives them a 12% chance now to make the playoff, make the postseason this year. We asked Sark just a moment ago what he thinks his team's college football playoff chances are.
We got a 2-week season in front of us. We got to go play. We got 2 games. It's 2 weeks. Let's go play. Let's put our best foot forward and see what happens.
All right, short and sweet right there. 2-week season. Let's go play and see what happens. And the good news for Sark, you got a rivalry game against Arkansas and then the rivalry game against Texas A&M. Corey, I know that you're going to have the A&M highlights coming up. I'm going to spoil them just a little bit. The Aggies are a top 3 team in the nation. I expect them to stay a top 3 or 5 team in the nation going forward. And this is one of those rare occasions where Longhorn fans might actually be rooting for Texas A&M because you want the Aggies to come into DKR Texas Memorial Stadium with that undefeated record intact. The better that Texas A&M looks, the better it will look on UT's resume if they can beat Texas A&M. And obviously that is a win that they must earn if they're going to keep these playoff hopes alive.
Yeah,
Corey?
Jeff, you must be reading my rundown because that's exactly what I'm talking about next. But it's not just A&M, right? It's also what Oklahoma did today. That also messes up some things for Texas because they got a big-time win in Tuscaloosa. And